Welcome back to the Red Chaos One channel, the home of an idiot who cares way too much about web novels. Now, today we shall be dipping our toes back into doing a review of a web novel. And if you're new to my channel, first things first, subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. And you can hit that bell icon to be notified of future videos if you like the things that we do here. Now, you also have to remember the link to this book will be placed in the description below to help you find it if you're interested. Also, do you know that I am a web novelist? Oh, you're sick and tired of hearing me bring that up? Well, too bad. My book, Phantom Drake, is an action, high fantasy with sci-fi elements, whose link can be found below in the description. Now, let's get on with the rest of the video. Our little review takes us to RoyalRoad, which is one of the biggest English-speaking web novel sites on the web. Sort of like Wattpad for you heathens, only this site is overpopulated by lit RPGs and not romance stories about teenage girls and their weird billionaire boyfriends. Now, our story is called Pinstripe, which has been written by Joshua Clark. It is still an ongoing story with currently 28 chapters, and it has a website that can lead you to multiple options like checking the book's Discord community, Joshua Clark's YouTube channel, and a lot of other things. So you will find the link to it as well in the description below. Now, before we go further with the review, we kind of have to look at the synopsis of our story, which begins with "The clothes make the man." This isn't just a saying in the world of Pinstripe. Shonen, it's a world where business attire grants its wearers incredible power. Only the wealthy can afford to buy the most powerful fashion statements from the mysterious clothers. And Nico is just a broke young man from Central City. With the help of his friends and the gift of a one-of-a-kind pinstripe shirt that grows in power over time, Nico is determined to defeat all of the executives, rise through the ranks, and become the CEO, the business king, the one who can make dreams come true. That's the review. Not the review, just kidding. That is the synopsis. Now, as far as the story's entire premise, the whole business shonen story thing, it's frankly a fresh welcome change to the usual lit RPG fantasy stories that can be found on RoyalRoad. Which isn't to say that I'm bagging on them or I'm saying they're too derivative. I'm just saying, as far as web novels go, it's a welcome change. And if you're assuming, yes, this story does deliver the pure insanity that its premise promises, it doesn't shy away from the fact that, let's be honest, it's kind of a silly premise, but then to be honest, a lot of premises for web novels are silly, but it's still a silly premise and it executes it perfectly. It honestly made me, like, the whole challenging your boss for a high position honestly made me want to get a desk job, also that I could challenge my boss to single combat for their job. Now, here's where I'm gonna have to make a complaint, and this is Joshua Clark. This whole complaint it's not with the story, something can be fixed over. It's the RoyalRoad version of the first chapter, for me, is showing this dimmed color thing for the words, making it near impossible to read the first chapter. So maybe the author could fix that. Anyway, for the other chapters, which are much clearer and easier to read, I had fun with the writing style, which is well descriptive and gives a lot of life to the story, which is important, especially since this is a story centered around cool business duels, and you can't exactly have an action series with poorly written fight scenes. And I can say the fight scenes here are well written. And also, the characters and the way they behave. So, I have a little series of videos where I've done two so far, where I talk about web novels that I think should be adapted. And honestly, this one is written in such a way that it can be perfectly adapted into an anime. And even just the way the story is written, how descriptive it is with the characters, it gives them a lot of life. It gives I can picture exactly what they're doing in my mind, and especially with how well written the characters are, because in truth, the characters are what make a story. Like, you can have the best written premise, you can have the best amount of conflict in your story. The truth is, characters are what make your story memorable. People would not care about most stories like Star Wars or Harry Potter if the characters were boring. The characters are what people come for. And frankly, the characters in this story are well written, memorable, and frankly, they were fun. Seriously, Nico, Pepper, Tux, and Mr. Wyatt have been such a treat for me to read, especially their character interactions, because they just bounce so well off each other. And they're just other characters who are just fun. It makes the world feel fun through the characters. Like, the world is unique on its own, but the people who inhabit it really, really give it life. And this is one thing that I'm gonna have to very much praise. As far as pacing goes, the pacing is well written. The story isn't moving too fast, nor is it moving too slow. I don't think those who enjoy stories taking that big of a break are going to enjoy it that much, but then it's not like the story is jumping from one set piece to one set piece at breakneck speed. Its pacing is just perfectly okay. Another thing that I have to praise it on is the grammar. So, I'm a web novel writer, and I'll tell you my grammar isn't perfect. Hell, a lot of web novels don't have perfect grammar. Editing is really, really hard. Like, if you've never written before, you think it's easy. Editing is hard and it is a pain. Having to routinely go back and check out things that you wrote to make sure that they're okay. It's a pain. But I have to say, the book is well written. I had fun reading it. I had no problem. So grammatically, it's well written. So yeah, as far as my thoughts on this book, I highly recommend Pinstripe. Well written characters, a unique premise, a unique world that will be memorable and fun for you to read. And yeah, that's it. I very much recommend this book. So, like I said before, if you want the link to check out the book or to check out the website of the author, you look to the description below. And also, before we sign off, remember to subscribe. Like, it really helps my channel, and it really helps my channel grow. And also, I have set up a Discord for my channel. You will also find its link in the description below. It's also a Discord that goes to my books, but also we can talk about web novel stuff there, and you can also help in coming up with ideas for future videos, telling me what you would most likely like to see, and we can help grow a community. So yeah, this has been Red Chaos 1 signing off.